Imagine this. A teenage girl disappears without a trace. Her smiling face is plastered across missing posters, and her parents cry for her return, begging the public for help. But behind their facade of grief lies a secret so sinister, it will chill you to the bone. This is the story of Bernadette Walker, a vibrant 17-year-old whose life was tragically cut short, not by a stranger, but by the very people who were supposed to protect her. Bernadette Walker lived in Peterborough, England, a town known for its quiet charm and close-knit community. She was an artistic and creative teenager, passionate about photography, with dreams of building a future in the arts. But Bernadette's cheerful exterior masked a troubling reality. Behind closed doors, she was battling unimaginable pain. In July 2020, Bernadette vanished. Her stepfather, Scott Walker, claimed he had picked her up from her grandparents' house on July 18th. According to him, during an argument in the car, she jumped out and ran away. It was a story that seemed strange but not entirely impossible, at least, not at first. The real concern arose when Scott waited 2 whole days to report her missing. 2 days. That's 48 hours of lost time, critical hours in any missing persons case. The police immediately launched a search for Bernadette, questioning friends, family, and neighbors. Her mother, Sarah Walker, made tearful public appeals for her safe return. But even as the town rallied to search for her, Bernadette's parents were hiding the truth. As investigators dug deeper, the family's story began to fall apart. Just weeks before her disappearance, Bernadette had confided a dark secret to her mother. She accused her stepfather, Scott Walker, of sexually abusing her. She told Sarah she could no longer stay silent. This revelation could have led to justice, but instead it became the motive for a horrific crime. Rather than protect her daughter, Sarah Walker chose to side with Scott. The two of them plotted to silence Bernadette forever. On the day she disappeared, Scott likely carried out their plan. The details are chilling. Investigators found that Bernadette's phone activity stopped entirely on July 18th, the very day Scott claimed she ran away. Yet, in the days following her disappearance, messages were sent from her phone to friends and family. Those messages, investigators discovered, were sent by Scott himself, an attempt to fake evidence that Bernadette was still alive. But his deception didn't end there. He even used Sarah's phone to message himself, staging conversations to make it seem like Bernadette had run away to start a new life. Scott's lies began to unravel when police examined his digital footprint. Among his internet searches, they found phrases like, "How long does it take for a body to decompose?" and "How to get rid of a body." These damning searches painted a clear picture of premeditation. Meanwhile, Sarah continued to play the role of the grieving mother. She pleaded on television, urging Bernadette to come home. But in private, she and Scott were coordinating their stories, ensuring their lies were consistent. Investigators found text messages between the couple discussing how to maintain their cover. One chilling message from Scott to Sarah read, "We need to stick to the same story." As the investigation progressed, police arrested Scott and Sarah. The truth finally came to light during their trial. Prosecutors revealed the horrifying extent of their betrayal. They argued that Scott had likely killed Bernadette on July 18th, disposing of her body to cover his crimes. Sarah, knowing what had happened, chose to protect Scott rather than seek justice for her daughter. The trial was a harrowing affair. While Scott maintained his innocence, the evidence against him was overwhelming. In 2021, he was convicted of Bernadette's murder and sentenced to life in prison. Sarah was found guilty of perverting the course of justice and received a 6-year sentence. But despite these convictions, one haunting question remains unanswered. Where is Bernadette? her body has never been found. This lack of closure leaves a gaping wound for those who loved her. Bernadette Walker's story is one of unimaginable betrayal. She trusted her parents to protect her, but they became her greatest enemies. Her life was taken not by a stranger, but by the very people who were supposed to shield her from harm. This case isn't just a tragic tale. It's a stark reminder to listen to survivors, to act when they cry for help, and to never ignore the warning signs of abuse. Bernadette's voice may have been silenced, but her story must continue to be told. And so, we end with this question. Will we ever find Bernadette, or will the secrets of her final moments remain buried forever? Until she is found, her story isn't over.